Hello guys, it's Paula. How are you doing this morning? Tuesday morning. And I'm sure you're all asleep right now because it's like 2 o'clock in the morning Tuesday. I just could not sleep, so I got up. I thought I can be doing something productive. You know how it is whenever you're wide awake and you're just like, okay, I can't call anybody, you know. Well, I'm calling you, but I don't want you to wake up. So, we are going to decoupage all different kinds of Christmas cards. I know we have decoupaged before on here, but there's always new people. So, I've already separated all of the different layers. Now, except for this one, I got down to the last one and I saved it for us to watch and do together. So what I do is I take a piece of Scotch tape, just like that, okay? And I just hit it over here on one corner, and well, that just came off real easy, didn't it? Let's see if there's another layer. Sometimes there's 2, sometimes there's 4. Sometimes there's 3. This one has 3. And I'm holding the tape as I do this. And I just tore the top off, so let's get rid of the tape. Okay, so now I know I still have one layer on here. You have to be careful, not as rough as I just was. But it's okay, I'm going to have plenty. And I can tell that that's the last layer, okay? So I'm going to fold it, and I'm going to start with the ones I want to use first, okay? Now, I'm going to put this over here in our stack. And I'm just going to start making them, and we can just talk along the way. Now, I've got 10 large ones and 5 small ones. And there's no way to know which one is the better one to do. But I do have these wreaths, which I know that they are too big for my tag, but I still want to do one. Just want to do one. Okay, so I'm looking here so I can find the center. And I'm going to do it right up here like this. Now, I'm going to go ahead and cut because I want these other squares off of my workspace. Okay, let me take a drink. I'm always dry mouthed in the morning, so I got to where I felt I couldn't speak to you. Okay, so this is the kind of Mod Podging where you don't tear it in a million little pieces. This is just the kind where you're trying to transfer an image. You could do it with a glue stick, but I want to coat it over with the Mod Podge, so you can do it with the Mod Podge. So I'm just going to hold it where I ended up putting it, and I'm going to pull the Mod Podge over so we don't drip all over the place. And I'm just going to start off by, well, my brush was wet, so let me dry my brush. I had it setting in some water, which was not smart. I just realized it. Let's try that again, see if we can get actual glue on here. Okay, so we're going to lay that back down, and we're going to just kind of gently, you have to be gentle, you can't be rough with your images or your napkins. So I'm going to bring this up here on the bottom and glue it down before we move ahead with more of the yuck. A little bit of yucky right there. Let's find a place to put that. Okay. All right, so now we're going to move this down. There's nothing better than decorating for the Christmas time. I love doing it. Love being every single part of it. So down here, I want to put some of the music that's in the background. Now, ordinarily, I wouldn't trim anything off right now, but I need this music sheet. And I want it as wide as I can get it, so we can put it down here. And this part, we definitely will be piecing together. And it's not going to look like it goes together at all, because it doesn't. I'm just going to start over on this side here, but I want it to be straight. And so, let me cut this other side. We might have to use another napkin on the card. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm breaking up as I talk. I sound like a CB player. Do you guys remember the CB days where everybody would put CDs in their car, or they were those talk radios. I guess that's what they were called, CDs. No, I know that we have CDs now, but this was called CB, not CD, CB. My husband's family, when I met him, they were big time CBers. His dad had a big old unit in his room, and he'd talk to people from all over the place, and he had so much fun with that. And if you ever met him, you would never have thought that he would talk to anybody, you know, that he didn't know. But it was almost like his personality came out in those moments. I remember thinking, okay, this is cool. We didn't have cell phones, but I thought, wow, this is cool. We don't need a cell phone. Of course, we didn't know about cell phones at that time. But anyway, I don't know what enticed me to talk about that, but we used to go to these gatherings with people who had CBs, and so that's when you had opportunity to meet people, other people that like to CB as well. And I remember thinking, oh my goodness, this is a different kind of people. You know, most of them were normal. And his parents were normal. It's just, it was different for me. And these people, they would almost remind me of like Harley guys, you know, that had a jacket with all these names and different events and so forth on their jackets. So it was CB, like in boy. You should look it up sometime, the history of that time. Yeah, he had one in his car, so I thought he was really cool, you know, that he could have this CB in his car, and that if he needed to talk to or get help from somebody, he could call another CBer. I know, it cracks me up. Okay, so now we've got it all covered pretty much, and we're going to go over it with a coat of Mod Podge. But you don't want to rub it, because it's wet, you don't want to rub it too much. You just want to give it a glisten. And we'll do this side, and then we'll go back over it on the other side once we trim around the edges. We're going to set this over to dry. I've got it attached to my fingernails and my fingers. Okay, now I'm going to show you. Let me get this off my fingers. I'm going to show you how it looks close up. Now, right now, we can't tell a lot because it's drying. But when it dries enough that we can trim this off, you'll be able to notice how cool it looks. I'm setting it over here on another table. I'm going to get a wipey. So in between, I can wipe this and not have such a big mess to clean up in the end. It's not fun. It's really hard to get off. Okay, so that's a wreath. And we're going to move on to the next thing. We're going to do a tree. I pulled out things that would go with some of the books that we're going to have. Now, as you look at this, and as I look at it, I see that this isn't going to fit on this small tag. But what happened to my big tags? Looks better on the big one, doesn't it? Okay, let's do it on this big one, and then we'll add some of this over here from this side. I'm going to go ahead and trim it beforehand. All right. Trying to be as neat at this as I can be, because sometimes it can be a total mess, but it's fun. I don't know if I told you guys this or not, but my sister, she used to love to decoupage stuff. But that was before, you know, we did this type of decoupaging. She would she would go to like a pottery place or some place that would have, like, oh, how do I describe it? And what do they call it? Plaster-like creatures. Like, she'd get a cat, let's say, or a dog or whatever. And then she would tear the tissues one ply into a bunch of little pieces, and nothing looked like it did when it started. So she, for instance, would do nothing but florals. That's pretty much all she did. And she did the whole cat in the same kind of napkin. But she did it with florals, and it would overlay. And honestly, guys, it was super cool. I remember thinking, well, that's neat. Where'd she come up with that at? You know, at that time, I liked arts and crafts, but I wasn't as involved in them. I was young. And anyway, I used to think she was so creative and thought that was so neat. Like she came up with it herself or something, you know. But it was fun. Okay, so we're going to lay this last little strip right here. And it will all be together, and it'll look like this. Now we got to go over it. Let's start down here at the bottom, and you just want to, I pull from the middle and go off the edge. And I put a good coat on it here so I don't have to do more than one. But you don't want it so over the top wet that it tears a hole. That's what happens when you're in a hurry. But when it's 2 o'clock in the morning, you have all the time in the world. right? So I talked to my doctor yesterday. I was telling you guys I've been having weird, uncomfortable pains, and that they wouldn't let me take my arthritis medicine. Well, when they found out how bad my pain was, they said, we think you're 4 weeks post-op. I'm going to put this over here. 4 weeks post-op, you can definitely go ahead, even though the hospital told us differently. One don't know what the other one is thinking. They just do what they think he expects and goes from there. But yeah, I like it when it's like that. I'd rather they all know what each other's thinking as far as medications and pain pills and all that stuff go. It's safer. Okay, so I'm going to cut this cardinal and poinsettia in half here. Now, I'm going to use a small tag on this one, and I'm thinking I want the bird all the way up, but I don't really want him in the hole, so I'm going to bring it down, and I don't want this gold at the bottom. Although we could do the gold at the bottom, but not at the top, because we have a straight line there. Let's do that. I just want the bird to really be in this place. So, no, I'm not doing it like that. Let's do it like this. So we get all of the bird. I want his tail involved and all that. So, and I tore all the plies apart on this as well. So, I'm going to put this over the whole tag this time. That way, whatever hits glues, okay? I don't make a big deal out of this. I just slop it together, and it always ends up looking fine. Don't spend a lot of time on it because you're not going to need to. So I'm going to bring this down to right about here. Now we got a little bit of his head in the punched hole, but not super bad. Now I'm going to trim this over here so we can use it on top. And what I'm thinking is we'll just do the berries here. And not worry about okay, let's just put a little dab of Mod Podge right here on the top. So just in case it's kind of dried out. Okay. I want it to look like, it all goes together there. I'm just kind of putting that on upside down. I think it'll be fine. And we've got this tiny little bit in the middle. Let's add a little tiny bit right in here for this next piece. Because when it dries, if you don't have it a match set, as long as the image you want shows and all of that, you can't run it. Okay, Now I'm going to give it one little coat of Mosh Posh. Yeah. I think this is a pretty napkin. I like when they mix birds and plants. All right. Now, it's kind of straggly, but we're going to move it because we have to let it dry. So that's what we ended up with. So far we've got 3 that we have Mosh Poshed. All right, now I know I want a large one like that. So while we're here, we're just going to continue with our bird. And this time I'm bringing them further down because we have a bigger tag here. We can do that. Okay, now I just plan on having cardinals. I love cardinals, and I plan on doing a cardinal book at some point. I bought some really pretty fabrics, and it won't be a little golden, but it will be what we need. All right. So I know I told you guys that Charlie took a trip to Disney on Make-A-Wish. Sent him to Disney. And he was beside himself. He started off meeting the pilots, so he got to go in the cockpit of the airplane, you know, as soon as he got on the plane and they knew he was Make-A-Wish, he got to go meet the pilots. Talk about an excited little boy. One of these days, if I do an album, I plan on doing an album. It's not if, it's when I plan to do an album of their Make-A-Wish trip. I'll show you how excited this little guy was. He had the best time. My daughter said they treated you like royalty, and she said, you know, you almost felt bad at times because you were just like being so overtreated. And but you know, when you think about the times that you sat at the hospital day and night, when you lived at the hospital, you did your laundry at the hospital, I mean, all of that, you know, is so true. They were at Cincinnati Children's Hospital for over a year, living in the hospital. They had a little bed in the corner that they make. It's a little bigger than a twin size, but during the day it would be their couch, and in the evening it would be their, or at bedtime it would be their bed. Now I did piece this top, but if you look at the top of the cardinal, I matched his little, whatever that is on top of his head. I'll tell you right now, I don't keep up with my creatures, but I love them. Most of them. But anyway, I matched it up with the same part of the other napkin so that it all looked like one right here. See? If you look at the little thing on top of his head, I matched that up. So, all right. So now we got this all together. I'm going to lift it up Let me get under it here before it sticks to everything. Okay, I'm going to lay it over here. All right, so now we're going to move on to a different cardinal napkin. And I think probably, you know, what I'm going to do is just do one of this one, and then I'll come back if we have more napkin left over and do a second one. Because we have a full-size cardinal here. We got to use a big tag. Look at this dude. Which way do we want him? This way or that way? Let's do him to the right. Everything seems to go to the right with me. Probably because I'm right-handed. So I'm going to cut this one out. All the way across. I'm going to fold this one up, save it for next time. Okay, so let's see where he's going to set. I want to set him up here. I look at this and I think, oh wow, I can just set him straight on here like that. And it will just miss a little bit of his tail. So we're going to do it like that. That's what I say. Let's just put it on and get it nice and wet with the Mod Podge, and then set your napkin down. Okay, and it looks like we're going to be able to fit the whole thing in. Once it's down, it's down. You want to be careful, too, when you put something down that if you're holding it with your fingers and you're holding it still, it can tear a hole. So you want to be moving with the fingers. You don't want them to have any time to stop on any one place. So I'm going to trim this off over on this side, so we don't have too much on there, because we want to put a coat on the top. And again, remember to start, I usually start in the middle, work my way out. You don't have to go the same direction necessarily. Just whatever feels good to you. It's not going to show different strokes. Not really. Awesome. So, we know that it's going to look like this. How cool, right? We might have to do another one. Part of me is like, oh my goodness. Let's do one more. But that small one, I don't think it will fit on this small one. And I just like it on that large. So we definitely will use this with all that I have planned. The hard part is giving it my tea stain tags. Yeah, I love my tea stain tags. So we're going to do a second cardinal, because he just looks cool on there. Got to work kind of quick. I suddenly decided that I was going to do another one. Now my stuff is going to dry on me. But we'll point him the other direction. How's that? Okay. Let's see where he'll go here. I was a little short on the top. But we're going to cut this off right here and make up for it. We're just going to wet that top just a little bit right there. All right, now so my granddaughter auditioned for a play, My Fair Lady, with the theater company that's here in Tulsa. So it's Tulsa Theater. And actually, it will be the same stage my daughter performed on not that long ago. Which I didn't tell you guys that she's doing another play. I don't even remember the name of it. It's trying to get under here without tearing something that's stuck. I left it laying there too long. Okay, here we go. Anyway, but she didn't want a big part because she couldn't commit with the time. So she just tried out for some small stuff. And she likes to do the chorus stuff once in a while because it's good exercise. And so she loves to do that. And so I think it's a musical too. I can't think of the name of it though, for the life of me. I can't remember. But anyway, so my granddaughter, they got us dinner, and we hadn't seen them since they got back from Disney, and we were missing them. But Lucy got up and performed her audition song for Grammy and Pawpaw. And it was precious. She did Honey Bun from South Pacific. She's going to have a voice every bit as strong as her mama's. I tell you. And then get this. That's not all. We're going to do the Nutcracker next. This is going to go into the Nutcracker book. So I'm just going to do one for now. There is going to be a Nutcracker little golden book that will be done at some point if time holds out. Oh my goodness, this all takes so much time to get all these done, and I'm already behind. All right. I have 3 books in my Etsy shop. For those of you that know, one is called Rose, and I don't usually name them. In my head, I name them, but I don't give them names. I don't know. For some reason, I think the person who has the book, I don't get into naming the books, but once in a while, I'll do like the fall book or the rose book or, whatever. Anyway, okay, so we're going to do these nutcrackers. Over on this side, we have enough room to put these 3 on here. Almost. The one on the left right here is not going to fit all the way on, but it'll be close enough. Let's put a coat on top of this. And where did I find this napkin? I was so excited because you don't see a lot of like scrapbook paper, but I found some. It was older paper. I found some of the Graphic 49 when they did the Nutcracker in their Christmas paper. And I'm going to cut this side off over here. Hang on to this little tree. No, it doesn't matter because this little tree's got a big hole in the middle. I must have torn it. So we'll toss that. We're not going to use that. We're just going to use this part here. So we just put a coat over the top of it. I hope you guys aren't bored to death. I wasn't going to do a video with this, and then I thought, well, I might as well. I'm going to be on here doing them for a while. So here is the Nutcracker one. It's going to look really cool, I can tell. I get excited when I, you know, notice that things are getting awesome. We're getting all kinds over here going on. Okay, so I have this cute little snowman. And, you know, you always end up with a snowman something. And I do have a Frosty the Snowman book. So, we'll just have to see which one it can be on. Let's see if it fits on this small one. Isn't he cute? Oh, he does. He does. Just barely. So we'll put him on a small one and a large one. How's that? I kid you not. I am so thirsty this morning. I'm hoping my tea holds out for my video. I know. Tea this early in the morning probably isn't the smartest thing. But either way, it wets my whistle, as my daddy used to say. Get me something, girl, to wet my whistle. He didn't sound like that. Bless his heart. I would not put that on him. He did not sound like that. My dad was very quiet. And I miss him. He's been gone since 1991. I know I've probably told you guys that in some video. I watched Gail's video yesterday, and bless her heart, you know, she lost a friend, and she was going on, and she was a trooper to get her video made. And sorry for your loss, Gail. It's hard when they're young. Okay, so nope, that's not going to be the right place. So let's pull that up. Ooh, we got lucky. Okay, so we want to bring him over. Make sure he really didn't land where I wanted him to, but he's down now. I wanted all of his scarf to be on the tag, but it wouldn't look right if I did. So we'll just see how easy these are. I'm just taking my sweet time because we have an hour. If we end up doing it an hour, I don't want to bore you guys to death, but that's probably how long it will take me to get it all done. And then when these dry, the ones I'm doing right now, the way I'm doing them, when this side dries, we'll trim this off and go on the other side. And they'll end up looking really cute when we're all done with them. Okay, now let's do one more on a large tag. Because you can use snowman on anything, right? Anything Christmas usually has a snowman. Okay, gonna have to get a new these napkins only have one or two snowmen on them. Two snowmen on them. That's I guess they just decided it was easier to print snowflakes than the snowman. Who knows, right? Who knows? I'll look for a... Okay. So we're going to do this one the same way, but hopefully like I planned to do the last one. All right, let's see. This time, the scarf is on this other side. I just don't want him off a whole lot. Yeah, just like that. This is how I wanted it. Only this little snowman's facing the opposite direction. He's like all about the opposite direction. Here's some snow. Maybe we can put some of that on this top trim because it's just barely it's not completely covered. But we need that little bit right there. I don't want it to not look good. Okay, so we're going to just rub this one out just like the others. Fun, fun. All right. Now we got to let this fella dry. And then we can put him wherever we want. I'm going to trim this off because I don't want it hogging the table over here to dry. There's a lot going on this other table. Okay. Come up from there. There you go. All right. Now, we need to, excuse me just a second while I straighten this up and get another wipey. Our other one got super sticky. Normally, I don't wipe up from under when I decoupage, but I didn't want to pull out a bunch of parchment paper. I decided this was good enough. All right, so now we've done the little snowman, and we can toss that part. So let's get out a big tag. I'm going to see how many more things we've got to do. Let's do this Christmas tree. Isn't it pretty? Yeah, but we're going to need some of the background parts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut right there and right there. Move these others out of the way, little pieces, and put that there. Let's put this down first, and then we'll come back and put the edges on. That one was already cut out like that, and I didn't want to waste, and I thought, well, we'll do that one different, you know? Okay, so I have got this everywhere. So I'm going to wipe it real quick. Because we're all going to stick to the table in a minute. Sometimes I'm messier than I am other times. And usually it snowballs, you know. Okay. So we're going to put it right in the center. Can't go wrong. Bring it down the sides. All right, there's that part. And now I'm going to trim off all the parts that are not tree. Okay. And just try to add as much as I can on here. All right, now we're going to do the other side right here. Did those turn out perfect or what? Now when we wet them, and I'll show you what I mean right here. See, they're going to attach and look like they were meant to look like this. Now, let me add some down here to the bottom. All right, let's see. Yeah, perfect. Perfect, perfect. I don't do collage for every kind of book. It depends on the beauty of the napkin or what the book needs. You know, if I've got a napkin that goes along with something in that story, I don't go out looking for napkins, you know, that match perfect. Okay. So there is the Christmas tree. Cut that off right there. Now, where do I put you? Right there. Trying to move some of them out of the way here so we have room for the others. Okay, there we go. Now, I think I want to do a small one with a Christmas tree too. Because, I mean, seriously, how cute is this tree? And we can get the whole thing on there like this. Yeah, we're going to do that tree. Okay. All right, here we go. You want to make sure your tree is as centered as possible. It's not always that easy to get it down center. Like I dropped it the first time, it was totally crooked. So when I'm done with this decoupaging, I'm going to start on some custom mortars. And I want to make sure that I get those done so I don't have any problems. I'm doing them first, even though they told me they were not in a hurry. I just want to make sure this one particular one is done. All right, look how awesome. I like this one because it has this gold at the bottom. Okay, so we're going to lay that down to dry. As soon as I catch the side off of here that's tucking under, I don't want them to tuck under. All right, now the next thing we're going to do is this, where did my wipey go? Okay, pine cones. Now, not everybody likes pine cones, but I do have a couple books that have maybe one, maybe two that have pine cones on them. So I just thought, well, let's just do one and we'll see if we have room for 2 when we're all done. Because I'm not doing more than a total of 15. Because did you see my box of collage tags? Yeah, you did. You were along with that. That's going to be tags also. And then I like to do layered tags at some point. You know, I like them to be layered where we can come up with our own thing. Okay, so let's get, we've got 2 large ones left. So let's get 1 large one. And I think I want to do it just like that because I like the way that looks. This is not a fancy tag napkin. It's, you know, it's an older version. But I don't care how old they get. They still work at Christmas, right? Especially when you have a lot of vintage ephemera and stuff like that. And I've been cutting my brains out working on all this ephemera. Cutting all the stuff out that I've purchased. And, yeah. Okay, so here we go. My goal is to center. And hope that everything goes straight. Come on, go straight. I'll kind of bring it up a little bit because it's bunched up right there in the middle. There we go. That worked. Surprised. All right, pine cones it is. Try and get my hand under here so you guys can see. You're going to be amazed at how different it looks when we bring them back over and trim them. And I might have some that's ready to be trimmed. Yeah, I got a couple that is. That one's still wet. Okay, so now we're going to trim some of what we've got done. We still have some more to do, but I want to make sure you get to see the whole process. So you flip the tag over and you get your scissors that can handle glue. Just be sure and clean them when you're done, and your scissors will be fine. These are Tim Holtz, his large scissors that I'm using. Now, none of them are totally dry, but this one is dry enough that I can go ahead and put the next coat on. And show you how it's working. So there's how it's going to look. But what we're going to do, and I'll show you in just a second. Trim one more. Flip it over. Now, if you don't watch, you get this happening. And I wasn't paying attention. That's on the back side of the tag where the napkin folded under when I laid it down. You have to watch how you lay them down if you don't want this. I usually don't worry about it. I just go right over it with my Mod Podge. But I thought I'd try to get most of it. Yeah, that's enough. I'm not that worried about it. It's homemade, right? And the more people realize that, the better projects end up being. Okay. That's why we don't have perfection in junk journals. Because they're really supposed to be made with junk. But in my brain, I think vintage. You know? Okay. All right. So now, I'm going to show you with these two how you do the other coat. Now remember, the only other two tags we're going to do, and I'm going to do them off video, is ornaments and lady looking Santa. Those are the only two you're missing out on, because our video is going to get super long. Okay, I don't know how many minutes we are at. I can't see right now. I can't get up and down with my hip a lot, so we're just going to guess right now. Okay, so we're putting Mod Podge on here. So you just, basically all we're doing is putting it on the back of the tag, because we want the front and the back of the tag to be the same texture. Or at least I do. I like it this way. And so, got to lay it on this side to dry. Now, if you get some on the other side, that's okay. Just make sure it's not tons, because it's going to dry either way you look at it. You know what I'm saying? It's going to dry either way. I do the middle and then kind of work my way out. All right, so here we go. There's that side. I'm going to put it down here to dry. Get another wipey. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. We're like a minute before an hour. I don't want to bore everybody to death, but pretty much it's just the same thing. It's going to take me about as long as it took us here to do the other side, and then we'll have them done, and I'll show them to you whenever I get them done. I don't stitch around them usually. We'll see how it goes. I don't know what we're dealing with here until they're dry. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. I appreciate it. And if you haven't become a subscriber, hit that subscribe button and that bell, and it will notify you whenever I post another video. All right, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Ho, ho, ho.